to hold conversation with these folks if it was through other forms of social media. So I'm interested in that.
Well, it has actually been stated in some newspaper article which social fora they used. I just can't recall them on the top of my head. But they made a girl very young, like 11 or
Do we know how?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Do we know how that's going to be released? Is it where's he going to post this, or how is it going to be released?
Yeah, we don't know.
It's not decided.
During the Kickstarter, they said that it would be released online with access for people that donated, but I think that's pretty much all.
Yeah, I think they're out pitching it to either networks or different content providers, to whoever, Netflix, NBC, probably not NBC, judging by Chris's relationship with them. But
I know
any
Chris has
other
a show on Investigative Discovery. Could be that.
Yeah,
he has a show on that.
That makes sense.
But it's his own produced show. I think they self-produced it, so they're out pitching it right now. And that process can take an awfully long time, before it gets picked up, and then it has to work its way into syndication somehow, and it's gonna it'll be a while, I would say. If at this point, yeah, it's gonna be a long time, unless they do it through YouTube Red or Netflix or something like that, where they can get it out quickly. But otherwise, it's gonna be a while.
I really hope that the show gets picked up. I understand that Hansen is going to use it as sort of a pilot in order to get it picked up. And let me just give a quick shout out to Perverted Justice. It is still functioning, and they posted a couple of predators that was sentenced last year or something, or even this year, that was caught a few years ago. And they posted 4 or 5 predators this month or last month, so they're still active. So check them up as well, because Perverted Justice is not working together with Hansen anymore. They're 2 separate things. So I think that we have about 10 minutes left. And I want to finish up with a round of everyone giving their favorite quote from the show or the chat logs. But before that, let's spend 5 minutes discussing people's thoughts on Lorne, because the Church of God is an interesting subgroup of the TCAP community. And let's discuss the fact that a predator have actually come forth. He's not the first predator with a YouTube channel, because Peter Gilmore has a pretty prolific wrestling channel. But
video.
Lorne has released an interview to Eaton, and also 6 music videos. So my take on it is that it's interesting that he made a YouTube channel, but we've seen it before. I think it puts a lot of speculation to rest, and he comes across more as a normal person. Obviously, Ethan have something to add here, so I'll give the word first to him, and everyone else who wants to chime in, feel free.
So we're gonna get something really interesting from him tonight. I've actually cut off communication with him. I approached him originally. My background is I'm an executive, VP level sales and marketing professional in the technology industry, and I've done a lot of work with, brand rehabilitation, branding in general. Bringing new products to market, going into new geographies, all this different shit. And I reached out to Lawrence Buddy account saying basically, this is kind of my background, this is what I've done. It looks like you're trying to rehabilitate your image. I'm curious to see what you're doing, because you haven't been doing it. You haven't been doing a very good job of it so far. I was referring, of course, to the interview and a couple other things. And, that was at like 8 and 10 o'clock in the morning. And by noon, I was on the phone with the guy. And I said, look, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. I want to put it out there. Maybe it's going to help the process. And I gave them, Lawrence Buddy and Lawrence some tips, some things that I wanted to see them do to sort of help this brand thing along. And then they kept getting back in touch with me again. I can't do it. Like, my conscience doesn't allow me. I can't forget about what he did. And so trying to help. Yeah, I'm a conscious type person, and I don't want to. I'm not here to help him do anything. And getting on the phone with him and talking to him, he's a charming, charismatic, goofy, simple, childish guy. He can't pay attention or stay on track with anything that he's doing. He's a total goofball, and you kind of get enamored with him in a way. And I felt myself doing that. I kind of I wanted to know what he had for dinner that night and stuff. I was just creeping myself out. I'm like, fuck this. So I told him. I told him and Lawrence Buddy and that whole community. Actually, last night I was like, I'm done. But there is something coming out today that's going to be really interesting. But I think that the kind of concept of his emergence into all of this it's very self-serving. If seeing what I've seen and what I'm sure you guys are experiencing right now, Lauren is very self-interested. He wants to capitalize on everything he can do. And the first question they asked me, like, "Oh, you work in sales and marketing? How am I going to sell my DVDs?" It was like, how am I going to keep people from pirating it? I was like, man, you have the same problem that Hollywood has. Like, you're not going to beat them. Like, everyone's got problems with pirating material. And I don't want to digress too much, but I think that his emergence into all this has pissed off a lot of people. The Church of COD, I was on a thread this morning, Tixxx, on you and I were communicating in the Temple of TCAP forum. It's just there's this exclusivity quotient, and it's like, well, we originated it, and like they own Lauren, and they own the rights to make fun of Lauren, and it's just a very hostile, aggressive environment right now, and it's a big turnoff for me, and sort of the quiet solitude and reflection of the Temple of TCAP is refreshing to me, because you can kind of go and have an honest discourse, you can have intelligent debate, you can engage in a lot of things you can't do with people that are so Lauren obsessed.
Would you say that you were a Laurenographer earlier?
I think I came in. I don't know if I've been in it long enough to establish myself one way or another. I identify TCAPists today. I think probably I always have, because I wasn't even aware of Lauren until, as a phenomenon, at least until a couple months ago.
So let me jump you with your question, because somebody contacted me and said that if you came online, I should ask you the following question.
Yeah.
And you haven't been prepared for this, but somebody asked me to ask if you are a co-Intel Pro agent who have been sent by the government to infiltrate the Church of COD, and because the government have noticed the popularity of it.
Was that Cool Intensity? Did Cool Intensity ask you that?
Well, I promised anonymity.
Am I close?
Yes.
She's Cool Intel Pro all the time.
And this is why you change your how you look so often. Your tattoos are fake, because you don't want to be recognized from earlier stings.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm asking this joking manner, but I promised I would ask you so.
I think part of it, I kind of wanted to see where this would go. I wanted to further Laurenography through my involvement. I don't have any sympathy for Lauren in me.
You're not answering the question. Are you a co-Intel Pro agent?
I am not. That's the easiest answer I can give.
Have you ever been a co-Intel Pro agent?
Did your druggy friends ask you to ask me this?
It's a question.
Communications guy.
He asked that of everybody.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
everybody.
let me then turn to Cookie and ask, what do you feel about the recent Lauren videos?
I don't have a whole lot to say. Quite frankly, I'm so sick of the drama, the trolling, all that stuff over at COC. I just really want to distance myself from Lauren and Laurenography. But I will say that it doesn't change my opinion of the man himself at all. I just see it as a continuing manipulation and another con, another scam. I find it mildly amusing, but more irritating than anything else.
Julian?
I agree. It's gone on long enough. It's just Lauren has just gotten old, and there's just not much interest left anymore for me. It's just gone on too long with the nonsense in the past month.
Joey?
Hey, like Alonzo Hampton Wade says, I'm just here to party. When he's in on the joke, I mean, if he's pissed off, it's humor. If he becomes part of it, then it's self-parody. So I prefer to hammer that asshole, but
it's
I'm
so
just here to
meta.
party, man.
It's so meta now.
And Usman?
Yeah, I've really just gotten bored of it with all the trolling and stuff. But like you said, I think Lauren is just trying to establish himself as a human. He's trying to humanize himself after years of dehumanization. I think that's really what it's about. He wants it end, pretty much. That's his way of doing it.
You're absolutely right, by the way.
He's a good guy. He has 2 nieces our age.
Well, if you're going to talk to somebody on the internet, he's safe to talk to.
I'll talk to you if no one else will talk to you.
We are moving to the final segment of our radio broadcast. And I wanted to finish with a round of everyone giving their favorite quotes from the show or the chat logs. So why don't we start in reverse this time, and we'll begin with you, Usman. Do you have a favorite quote?
Sir, please, I'm not a real predator.
So you're a pretend predator.
Sir, please.
Well, and for listeners who are not familiar with the predator who is being referred to, it is Paul Clemente. He came because he was curious. Joey.
We'll see. Man, that rabbi was so fucking creepy. He was so dirty, man. And I want to see the picture of him sucking a dick. I think that'll be hilarious.
Julian.
From the show, Brian Gosselin, yeah. And from the chat log, Walter Baps, go get a can of Coke.
Pancake batter.
Tastes like pancake batter.
I don't want to hijack this again, but I had Walter Baps was in a dream the other night of mine, and I'll just leave it at that. But anyway.
He was your teacher?
No. I'm just going to leave it there.
Was he still a sick-son of a bitch?
No, his name was written down on a piece of paper. That's how TCAP has fucked me up, is that it was...
No, it sounds very healthy. It's healthy.
I know. His name was written on a piece of paper. I was like,
Having revelations about our professor. Good. Cookie.
I just stopped by here to tell her that I wasn't going to be here. That's about the most classic excuse I can think of.
Okay. Ethan.
I want to give a shout out to Dr. Bashir quick first before anything, because you have, I love you, man. You have the absolute best timing for these things. Like you've got the quote ready to go whenever anyone says anything, and I can't fault you for it, man. You come through in a pinch. So I think that quotes are very much very much subjective to the environment. Right now, again, they changed a lot. My favorite quote right now is, "I'll watch ya." Well, that's Vivek.
It's sinister, but
I just gotta change my shirt. I'll watch you. He's such a scumbag and such an awful, like, violent bastard. And he's like, I'll watch you. And I feel like I interject that into my day-to-day more than any other quote right now. Someone would be like, I just gotta pump gas. I'll be like, I'll watch you. I just do that a lot now. People think it's creepy.
Okay. So,
it's only half creepy because of the size. But
that's very interesting quotes from everyone there. My favorite quote is sort of a double quote. It is from Gerald White, who many people know from the show Jesting. And I always thought it would also work as a very good slogan for TCAPism and its type of spirit that we're trying to build in the temple of TCAP. Here comes the quote. I shall always be sweet to you, treating you with dignity, kindness, and respect. This you deserve. I will always value your opinion, and I shall never take you for granted. 7 years.
died immediately after.
Yeah.
Amazing. It's beautiful though.
Yeah, look, everyone should read his chat log. He's the guy who comes the closest to being entrapped.
There's a lot more about him coming out now too, I feel like.
I just love his scream.
His scream, yeah.
Yeah. There's a whale of, it's over.
Yeah, he must be like half Wookiee or something, because he sounds like Chewbacca. Well, we have reached the end of our broadcast. To anyone listening in here, I'm just an average Joe here. I don't have any technical skills, even though I probably ranted about the other radio alarms being of poor quality. So apologies in advance. I guess that's the end of the radio TCAP. Does anyone else want to add something? Is there something you forgot about? Or no? Okay. Well, I thank you for the broadcast, and I'm going to click stop recording.